Okay, pause everything for just a second, because this is really cool. The FDA just released a draft guidance on how they're thinking about using AI to support regulatory decision-making. And if you work in manufacturing or CMC, this is basically the FDA saying, yes, you can have AI. Let's not break anything, though. This isn't sci-fi. This isn't hype. This is the FDA showing us their mental model for AI in regulated drug manufacturing. And honestly, it's way more reasonable than I expected. A link to the draft guidance is in the description below. First, let's get something out of the way. This guidance is not the FDA approving or banning AI. And it is absolutely not the FDA demanding that every neural network explain itself like it's in therapy. What the FDA is saying is this: if you use AI to generate data that supports a regulatory decision, especially around quality, safety, or effectiveness, you need to be able to trust it. And importantly, the FDA is not regulating your model. They're regulating how much you rely on it and the potential consequences if it's wrong. Also, quick but important boundary. If you're using AI for internal efficiency, scheduling, drafting submissions, resource planning, the FDA explicitly says that's out of scope. But the moment AI touches product quality, release decisions, or patient safety, congratulations. Now the FDA cares. Now let's talk about the example that made every manufacturing nerd sit up a little straighter. The FDA gives a concrete, very real fill-finish example. Picture this. You've got a parenteral drug in multi-dose vials, and fill volume is a critical quality attribute. You need the right amount of drug in the vial. No debate there. But you don't want an actual person in a bunny suit standing outside the manufacturing suite, visually inspecting every vial that comes down the line. However, that sounds like an excellent job for an AI. An AI-based vision system could look at images of every vial from a batch and flag potential fill volume deviations. Humans still perform independent, sample-based verification as part of the release. And the FDA's response is basically, yep, that makes sense. Even though the consequence of being wrong is high, the model's influence is reduced. The AI is not the sole decider. Sarah's translation. You can use AI, just don't let it run the plant unsupervised like a Roomba with ambitions. Quick sidebar. If this kind of FDA meets real manufacturing breakdown is helpful to you, give this video a like so YouTube knows it should show it to other CMC nerds. And if you've already tried using AI in manufacturing, or you're thinking about it, drop a comment. I would love to hear what you're experimenting with. And if you want more of this, AI, CMC, process development, and how regulators actually think, hit subscribe. We're just getting started. All right, back to the framework. Now we get to the actual structure the FDA proposes. They lay out 7 steps, but for manufacturing, this really boils down to a simple logic flow. Step 1. Define the question. Not, is my model good? But, what decision am I using this model to support? For manufacturing, that might be, do these vials meet fill volume specifications? The FDA cares about decisions, not vibes. Step 2. Define the context of use. What data goes in? What comes out? And, this is the big one, how is that output actually used? Is the AI advising, or is it deciding? Step 3. Assess model risk. The FDA defines model risk as the product of 2 factors. First, how much weight does the AI carry in decision-making? And second, what are the consequences if it's wrong? High influence plus high consequence equals high risk, while a model with low influence and safeguards, that's manageable. Step 4. Establish credibility proportional to risk. This is where people sometimes panic, but really shouldn't. The FDA is not asking for magic. They're asking for evidence. Where did your training data come from? Is it representative? How does performance look? What are the failure modes? The higher the risk, the more rigor you need. If you've done process validation, this should feel very familiar. Steps 5 through 7. Execute, document, decide. Run the plan. Document what happened, including deviations, then decide. Is this model credible for this specific use? And the FDA is very clear here. No is an acceptable outcome. If it doesn't hold up, you adjust. Reduce model influence, add controls, or walk away. Okay, now I'm going to very clearly label this next part as speculation. Once you understand the FDA's framework, a bunch of manufacturing use cases suddenly look doable. Maybe an AI is analyzing in-process bioreactor data to predict when something is going wrong. Your at-line spent media analyzer notices proline is trending low. Your average cell diameter is just a little off this run. Or zooming out even further, you're running high-powered proteomics and transcriptomics on reactor samples, and the AI is chewing through that data to spot long-term process trends that will be genuinely hard for us lowly humans to see. Think about AI as a process monitor, not a release authority. That's not replacing manufacturing scientists, but it might give them literal superpowers. So here's my takeaway. This guidance isn't the FDA slowing AI down. It's the FDA saying, we know this is coming. Let's do it responsibly. For manufacturing and CMC teams, this is a green light with guardrails. And honestly, that's exactly what sound engineering looks like. CMC friends, this isn't the FDA watching you. This is the FDA handing you a playbook. All right, that's it for today. I'm Sarah, and yes, your manufacturing line may soon have AI reinforcements.